welcome Ijoma Onyato tonight. Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Abayomi Olonishakin, says proposal to swap detained Boko Haram members for Chibok girls will not stop ongoing military operations. 2 of 3 people declared wanted by the army over Boko Haram video report to military authorities. Ahmed Salkida claims innocence and insists he's not on the run. Federal government announces plans to recapitalize Bank of Agriculture as part of efforts to revive and reposition agriculture for economic development. And Zambia's President Edgar Lungu edges his closest rival in presidential polls, wins a narrow victory.
And on business news tonight, Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority outlines structure for new $700 million real estate and agriculture joint venture.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria's D Tigers crash out of the basketball event of the 2016 Olympic Games after losing to Brazil in the last group game.
I'm Yenisi Ikpaye, and from Abuja, controversy continues to trail proposed PDP National Convention as 2 different courts give divergent rulings on the event.
Security forces will continue with ongoing efforts to secure the abducted Chibok girls, in spite of recent calls to exchange the girls for detained Boko Haram members, and that's according to the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Abayomi Olonishakin. The Defense Chief was speaking in Abuja during a session for security chiefs on how to respond to emergency situations across the country. Our State House correspondent Chukuma Onekuse reports.
For the second time since their abduction 2 years ago, a video of the missing Chibok girls with their captors has gone viral. The latest release coincides with a workshop for members of the National Security Council behind closed doors. First to react is the Chief of Defense Staff. He has to clear the air on the latest video and the demand by Boko Haram.
The video, we are analyzing it. We're ensuring that we'll make appropriate comment when we get the details.
Boko Haram, they are demanding for the release of... Declared wanted, reported himself to your men, and he was turned back.
I think if we are handling it, he's reported to the men and he's with them. I don't think he was turned back.
Boko Haram, they are demanding that you free their members in jail and they will release Chibok girls. Are you thinking about this?
That's a political decision to be taken. The military decision is that we are going ahead with our operations, and the operation is being conducted appropriately.
The Minister of Information reiterates his position that the government is on top of the situation. He also has a word on whether government is talking with Boko Haram and their call for a swap for the Chibok girls.
You see, many people, or most people, will forget the issue of these girls as soon as the effect of this video is over. But the government is daily working on the release. You see, until the release of this video, it didn't attract any attention. But every day, the Office of the NSC and the relevant authorities are working on leads, they're working on engagement. Every security organization, every day is working on this. So for us, it's not just because they release a video, it's because we believe that there will be no final closure to Boko Haram until and when we're able to resolve the issue of these girls.
That's an optimism many Nigerians would want to see happen in the nearest possible future. For now, they say the Chibok girls have overstayed in the hands of Boko Haram, a challenge for the federal government. Chukuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
And as the quest for more information on the missing schoolgirls continues, a fresh development has ensued following the release of a list of 3 persons invited by the Nigerian Army. 2 of the 3, Mr. Ahmed Buluri and Aisha Wakili, have made themselves available to the authorities. The acting spokesman of the Nigerian Army, Colonel Sani Usman, told Channels Television tonight that while Mr. Ahmed Buluri, who is based in the Army base in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, Mrs. Wakili reported at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. The Army spokesman goes on to confirm that the 2 were released after being questioned. Prior to this development, Mrs. Aisha had said she's innocent of the charges and believes that she's being maligned by the government because, according to her, she's always been on the path of peace and has been on the radar of the security agencies, having not left the country. And staying with the wanted list, and the third person on that list, Mr. Ahmed Salkida, says that he's prepared to return to the country and has indeed kick-started the process to honor the invitation. He insists that the army knows he was not in the country prior to being declared wanted and says that his return home would be quickened if the government funds his trip. Mr. Salkida adds that the army was declaring him wanted for simply carrying out his professional duties as a journalist and that he does most of his work with what he describes as his total allegiance and sacrifice to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. According to him, quote, "Clearly, my status as a Nigerian journalist who has reported extensively and consistently on the Boko Haram menace in the country since 2006 is an open book known to Nigerians and the international community." End of quote. The Nigerian army says it's repelled a suspected Boko Haram attack in Kangarawa, Borno State. According to the acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, 16 suspected terrorists were killed by the Nigerian troops yesterday. An officer and 11 soldiers were, however, wounded in the action during the encounter, and they're receiving treatment for their injuries. Colonel Usman also calls on Nigerians to be vigilant, urging them to support the Nigerian army with useful information that will help in the fight against the terrorists. And speaking about collaborative efforts, the United States government has pledged to help the federal government develop a civilian security plan and enhance emergency response in the Northeast. According to the U.S. Acting Deputy Chief of Mission, the assistance will be in the form of technical support. He made the promise at a meeting with the Nigerian Minister of Interior in Abuja, saying that the technical assistance is part of the security initiative of the U.S. government. Meanwhile, the Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, explained that the partnership will not include the provision of equipment for troops in the Northeast.
The areas we agreed to partner in are, first, enhancing the Ministry of Interior's nationwide emergency response planning and coordination. Second, enhancing Ministry of Defense material needs identification, procurement, and acquisitions procedures and processes. And third, developing a civilian security plan for the Northeast. SGI is a partnership, and I cannot stress this enough. The areas in which we have agreed to partner are areas that your government, the Nigerian government, has identified as priority areas.
The idea is not to get us equipment or whatever, but to see how we should do things right in order to ensure that we have a perfect situation that will be able to do our job. It is a matter of the interest of both nations to come up with this roadmap at the end of the day. And I understand that by the end of it, we intend to have a senior steering committee that will oversee the joint country action plan.
In the last couple of days, we've seen fresh developments concerning the security situation, intelligence, and the search for the Chibok girls. Joining me now to discuss all this is a security expert, Mr. Simeon Itodo, and he joins me from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10. Now, in the last couple of days, we've seen a lot of, how should I say, heavy criticism of the military, either for not acting fast enough or not having a unified approach to intelligence. Is that a fair assessment of what is going on?
First and foremost, it's not a fair assessment. The Nigerian army has done a lot in trying to mitigate the terrorism activities, and it's important that we encourage them in this aspect. Yes, Nigerians have expected a lot of things as regards to intelligence, but you know that issues of national securities are not to be made public to the people. Hence, there might be some calculations going within them, but I am sure that, yes, with the recent videos that just came up, I know, yes, all hands will be on deck as regards to intelligence, surveillance, target acquisitions, and recognizance. With this and with the aid of geospatial intelligence, I am sure in no time we should be seeing results.
Let's talk a little bit about strategy. We saw 3 people declared wanted, 2 have come out, and they've seen, you know, the DSS. But one of the ladies who was involved, Aisha Wakili, did say that she had meetings with senior officers in the past. She offered assistance. Nothing came out of it. What do you think has changed now?
It would be of importance that, yes, I am aware that the Nigerian Army has 2 departments that handles issues like this. We have the Nigerian Army Civil Military Relations Department. We also have the Nigerian Army Public Relations headed by Colonel S.K. Usman. If actually she met the right people as regards to this, that is the Nigerian Army Public Relations, I don't think the Nigerian Army Public Relations would have declared her wanted. Yes, we've been seeing a lot of jingles that says, if you say something, say something. Hence, when you get things like this and you want to perform solution, you should go to the right quarter and meet them. So whoever she might have met should be, you know, she should try and mention that to the military authority, because it's an indictment on those officers to have gotten these kinds of information as she claimed, and there were no response. So if she actually went to the Nigerian Army Public Relations Department or the Civil Military Relations Department, trust me, I am sure they would have done something as regards to that, because we've had a lot of calls to we've had a lot of calls on people coming out with useful information to be able to locate these Chibok girls.
What do you think the biggest problem is? Is it one of approach? Because obviously you have different groups and different, different agencies trying to work on it. Perhaps that is why you're saying what you're saying. Is the problem a unified approach, like I asked at the beginning? I haven't gotten a response to that. Or is it the strategy itself that is a problem?
Yeah, I can't. If I would want to come out here, you know, there are some issues of national security I wouldn't want to say on air because you don't know who is watching. But as I'm speaking to you, we should just give the military authorities, the security agencies time, in as much as, yes, they know that, yes, they don't have time. We should give them time and, you know, see what will come out of it. But with the recent release of video, I know definitely the security chiefs are not resting as regards to this, and I think soonest we should get positive results from this. You mentioned the video again. There was an initial video of proof of life, and then everything died down after that. What do you think is going to happen this time around? No, as I said earlier on, yes, the proof of life video showed that, yes, the girls were alive. And you should know that, yes, these girls are important assets to the Boko Haram, hence they would need them for negotiation. That was why we saw this footage. And I also want to draw to the fact that, yes, in the recent weeks, we've gotten like 2 leadership of the sect, one pronounced by the ISL and the Shakarao group. Now, when you see 2 people coming up claiming leadership of things like this, it is of importance that, yes, we should tread with caution on issues of negotiation, because we might be dealing with the wrong party or otherwise. So hence it is very important that issues like this must be taken seriously. I am speaking on this because of, yes, over the quarters we've heard from the states that, yes, negotiations are on, and I am speaking as a Nigerian that, yes, if negotiations are on, it should be done with the right channel and not some people claiming to be sourced from the Boko Haram. Security expert Mr. Simeon Itodo, thank you for sharing your thoughts on the news at 10 tonight. And in part 2, after the break, federal government seeks to enlighten Nigerians on the advantages of genetically modified organisms. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.